So we actually started working on this because we knew that these clams were having cancers that were occurring in outbreaks, and most people really thought it was a viral cause, but nobody knew what the virus was. So I was working on a project to try to identify the virus, and so it turns out there was no virus at all. It was actually a completely different type of transmission than we really expected at the beginning, that this was actually the whole cell transmitting from one animal to the next, spreading through the environment. So there's no viral cause, it's actually just cancer cells jumping from animal to animal. I was essentially training as in virology, retrovirology, and also training in epidemiology as well. And so I wasn't really expecting any of this project to happen, but it just sort of came up with this really interesting phenomenon that really opened up a whole other set of questions and a whole other set of things we could look at that we weren't really expecting. And I think that just really got me excited to answer these things and to look into this further. And then the other thing we're looking at is evolution of the host, because we know that the prevalence of this disease started quite high at some point in some of these populations, and now it's dropped considerably. And so we want to know how these populations have evolved to become more resistant to disease. And so that's one of the major questions we're trying to find out, is how are animals developing resistance to these diseases? If any animal is able to evolve resistance to cancer, I want to know how that happens. I think that a lot of people sort of growing up today or people training today as scientists are going to see COVID-19, and they're going to see all the huge impact that it has, and all the questions about how these viruses work and how you develop an immune response to them. And I think that probably will drive a large number of people going into science now and in the future to try to understand how these things work, since they are so interesting and complicated and fundamental to human health. The things that you really want, the things that are going to save people's lives, can only really happen if you do the basic science first. I mean, we're all fixated now, and rightly so, on all the diagnostics and the testing and getting vaccines and drugs. But really, you can't have that unless you have also the basic science behind it. And I hope that we can keep that message up, keep the message that the understanding the basic science and sort of moving forward with these things is really important. No, you can see the cat's tail. The cat tends to do what it wants around here. So.